Hello friends, my name's Jasmine and I'm an illustrator, and if this isn't your first video, welcome back. Today I'm going to try to finish a big goal that I have. As you might already know, I've been working on a sci-fi webcomic. At the moment, I'm in the thumbnailing stage, which has taken a lot longer than I had foreseen, but I have something to show you. So this is this month. Today is April 13th. In 2 days, I have a very big deadline that I set for myself. The thumbnails had to be done by this Wednesday. That's right, in 2 days. That means I need to finish 70 pages of thumbnails before we can reach that deadline. To give you a little context of just how much work that is, the actual portion of the comic that I'm working on is Act 2, or Part 2, and it consists of 370 comic pages. Now, I've thumbnailed already 300, which means I have 70 pages left. I try not to think about it too much because then it becomes super overwhelming. Now, because I've been tracking everything, I have managed to get a good idea of how long it takes me to do one of those comic template pages. It's about an hour. So if I have 70 comic pages left, I got 7 hours left of work. Can I fit 7 hours of more comic work between now and tomorrow so that I can hit that deadline on Wednesday? You're welcome to tag along. So let's continue. Now, if you've seen my comic-a-thon, you might already be familiar with the supplies, but nevertheless, I got the markers, the past thumbnails so that I can be referencing back the shots, the sketchbook where I can quickly just sketch some of the angles before I settle onto finalizing them on the template, and then the dreaded empty template, and of course the iPad where I have the script. So yeah, let's continue this. So my timer just went off, an hour has passed, and I've only done 5 pages, which is half of my usual page rate, and I'm guessing that I'm moving really slow because we're basically at the climax of this portion of the story. In particular, the climax, I feel like pacing is crucial. You don't want to have too many pages to drag out the scene, but you also want to have enough pages to really capture the suspense of the moment. Like, you don't want it to be too fleeting, if that makes sense. Especially when you as the author want to tell the reader, like, this is an important scene, pay attention. Basically, it's a question of how many pages of a zoomed in shot of someone's eyes should you include, because their gaze is important in the scene. So how many pages do I need to tell the reader that this gaze is important? Other than that, this is really fun. I'm finally getting to the part where the story of Space Warriors is becoming a lot more three-dimensional. I had discussed it in the only video I have about Space Warriors, about how it has taken me a long time to get to the point in the story where the reader can tell that this isn't a story of just 2 aliens traveling around the universe. There's so much more behind the story, and finally thumbnailing all of those parts, and it's been really enjoyable. In the meantime, I'm gonna get more tea and not get too bummed out that this is taking a lot longer than I was expecting. point out that some of these thumbnails are really messy, mostly because my perspective is really off, and I'm gonna leave that in the future to try to figure out what those buildings are gonna look like in that angle. For example, this is just gibberish. Now I'm really hoping that by the time I come back to these thumbnails when I'm drawing them, these really scribbly shots will still make sense. Really hoping. Now I have been brushing up on my perspective skills. I'll show you in another video. Funny enough, thumbnailing some of these perspective-oriented scenes has actually been easier, so I can't imagine what those scenes must look like if I hadn't been brushing up on perspective. My brain is goo. I just finished Emily's live stream and that was fun, but it wasn't as productive as I thought it would be, and I think it's just because we're at the climax. I managed to only get a page worth of thumbnails. I really hope this isn't going to be a snail pace until Wednesday. Just really hoping for that. I only have half an hour more before Jonathan and I have to go run a quick errand, so I'm going to see if I can squeeze as much as I can now. We're back! So the reason why we went out, we don't really go out anymore, was to pick up a drink that our friend is making, and he's a bartender and obviously his bar is closed, so this is a good way to support him, and it was basically just a curbside drink pickup. And we're gonna continue to work on this comic with a tiki drink in hand. This is really good, like really good. Finished another comic template page. Well, hello there. Back to her favorite freaking toy that she is obsessed with. I know, Kitty. We have ordered more at the pet store. They just haven't come. You guys don't understand. She's obsessed with this. You ready, Kitty? You ready? And there she goes. I'm officially now on page 340 out of what I had thought was 370. But as I'm looking through the script, I added extra pages. Sorry, it's a little too loud. The through the writing process, I had actually added pages. If it's 330 and I had to add an extra page, I just put 0.5 as the extra page. So I haven't counted that until now. So I just encountered a huge chunk of extra pages. So it seems more like it will be like maybe 90. So that's almost 100 pages. I still have quite a lot of thumbnailing to do before we can call this done. One interesting thing about this, I mean, because we're in quarantine, I have the privilege of full-on working on this comic. And in doing so, my mind is fully immersed in this story, which takes place in space and a sci-fi city with robots and all this other stuff. And what's happening is that a big portion of my mind is stuck there whenever I'm not working on this comic. And so I end up just feeling like I'm kind of in a daydream when I'm not working on this. And yeah, it's a very interesting feeling. I don't mind it. I think all artists understand this feeling of being sort of one step in reality and another step in another world. I guess what I'm saying is that I'm in it. I'm in this story right now. Fully immersed in this sci-fi world. And I'm loving it. This is great. Like, I'm in the perfect creative space right now. Just wanted to say that I'm enjoying it. I feel like this is what it should be. Especially in order to get this stuff out. And the fact that I've managed to thumbnail so many freaking pages, this is the way to do it, is just roll it all out. Just get it all out there so that the day that I do have a part-time job and other responsibilities, the creative aspect of this is done.
To an amazing mission.
It's a stunning revelation. Supermassives, once an entirely unexpected category of black holes, may be common. Not only the center of our galaxy, but of all galaxies. It would have been surrounded by gas and stars and other small black holes.
Ooh, this is really hot still. Not a good idea. Good morning. It's the next day. First of all, we don't have any running water. It's kind of important when you're in lockdown. Couldn't brush our teeth, can't wash dishes. Kinda sucks. And in other news, I started reading this book last night and I stayed up until 1 in the morning to finish it. It's a very small book. I didn't really like it. I did appreciate that it had a bisexual character, but I kept on reading because it is a very short book and happy to give it away again because I actually grabbed it from the donation pile in our apartment lobby. So back to the lobby it goes. I'm not sure if you remember this. I said I only had 70 pages to thumbnail yesterday. Finishing this portion of the project is going to take a little bit longer than I had planned. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report and we should get to work. Okay, so I actually went through and updated all the page numbers and I'm pleasantly surprised that I was only off by 13 extra pages instead of 20. We are now on page 339, which means, if I can do my math right, 56 pages, I think? Let's hope I'm correct. Funny thing too is I started a new thumbnail template page and they're matching. So I'm on page 339 and this is the 39th thumbnail template page. Isn't that weird? I think it's kind of strange. Hello. Good boy. Very good boy. I did the actual math and that means that I only have 34 pages left to thumbnail, which means if we continue this page rate, 3.5 hours left. I really do think I'm gonna be able to finish this earlier than my Wednesday deadline because today's Tuesday. So I'm going to make some breakfast. and we'll be back. Bloop. I'm tired. Can't stop yawning again. It is 4 o'clock and I only have 16 pages left to thumbnail. It's not really a lot. That's about an hour's worth of work, but my brain is goo and I guess I just wanted to complain a little bit. I don't know what else to say. I'm probably just procrastinating because I don't want to be thumbnailing anymore. I'm really tired. I think I should take a break. I always have problems taking breaks. Like, I'm never aware of the need for a break until I'm dying. I'm done. 384 pages, fully thumbnailed, and 1 day before the deadline. Yeah. After finishing the last thumbnail, I did a quick reread and jotted down a bunch of notes because obviously the pacing's not going to be perfect on the first run of making the thumbnails. I'm probably going to have to reread it multiple times. With the notes that I took, it seems like I need to add more pages between certain transitions. Just for the timing to be right. You want to add more pages when you want to give more attention to certain subjects. So it seems like there's some parts that I skip over more. I need to go back to them and revise the pacing for those specific scenes. With that said, thanks for watching this whole process. If you have any questions, you're welcome to leave a comment below. I do have other videos explaining more about this thumbnailing process. You're welcome to check them out. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye! This is my favorite part about making physical drawings.